Welcome back. This is Ryan Thompson with PyroCMS. In our last video, we set up this home page using a homepage page type and connected in all of our template variables and page fields and everything, and got the home page set up and ready for content. In this video, we're going to be walking through the other templates in this build and figuring out what's a block, what's a stream, what can use a pro block or a pre-built block, and maybe a little bit of overriding, and what needs to be built anew. So I think the first thing, let's take a look at what we've got here. This banner, pretty much anything from this line to this line, I think, should be blocks on internal pages, which means we're going to end up with a testimonial block, customizable background image, a generic content block. What's this? H1, okay. Banner. And I think, yep, there's two different kind of banners. There's this kind of collapsed one, and then we've got an image one. So we'll default the image, maybe default the title too, unless otherwise provided. Everything else, it looks like, falls in line with those two. So let's take care of this 404 page real quick. I'm actually just going to use the template and inspect from here. Copy the outer HTML for now. That's our homepage template. So yeah, 404, here we go. First we need to set up, we're going to tell it, I already did. When we get a 404, redirect to the 404 path, and then we'll create a page to accommodate that. We're going to be using a default page type because it's powered by blocks entirely, hopefully. Name it. We'll go ahead and use all of this. Save that. We're going to need a banner block, so let's go make that real quick. And we're just going to create a generic banner. And we'll name the other one something different when we get to it. Let's just call this a component. That's just for organizational purposes. The wrapper, I think, we'll leave alone, and we'll use our own block title instead of the block's actual title for that 404, for this portion. What kind of image we have here? Okay, let's just copy this, put it into our content here. So this is the content layout for our block. We'll treat this, we're going to end up making this optional, so this is going to end up being a fallback, and then they can choose a different one if they want. Let's see if I can remember how to encode. These are all pings from our build team for whatever reason, so I'm going to encode these as JPEG instead of saving them myself. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see. We'll have to make this real quick. Yeah. We'll just choose something that's a little bit more obvious. We could use the block title itself, but I really try and use that for administration purposes only. So we'll create a new title. Background image. We only want JPEGs. Now back to our block. This is going to be banner title. Let's save that for now, and we'll assign our fields here. This will be optional. We'll fall back to the page title. This will be optional as well. Banner title. And we'll use the page title by default. And then this, let's see. Block.background image. I suppose I'll do. Let's test our, let's give this a chance here. We'll save. Back to pages. We've got 404. Let's test that our 404 works. Okay, good. We're going to need to put that into a container, that page content here. We'll deal with that here in a second. So we've got 404, which is redirecting because of our environment variable here. Let's add a banner. Page is enabled. Let's see. Oh. This probably has to do with that encoding. I'm not sure I did that right. Let's back that off for a second. Resources, images, providers, inner banner. It says it's 404, or cannot be found otherwise. Images, interior, inner banner. Oh, I know what it is. We need to use the I should be using full namespace instead of this theme shortcut. I should be using that everywhere. We'll add our encoding back. because we're in the admin and it's indexing in the background, I think it's trying to use the wrong theme. Okay, so we've got that. Let's check it out. Oops. So the override's working. Image is not. Let's double check that. Background image, is that what I called it? Let's try this. Oops. Okay, so there's the background image taking place. Let's back off our inputs and make sure it gracefully defaults. Perfect. So the banner's done. So now what I want to do is I want all of this we're using the default, what you see is what you get block, and I want this to be wrapped in a container. So I'm going to override that view. Let's see. I'll put my service provider here. I don't think any of this stuff is. Whoops. Don't need that. So let's hop into core and find that block. What you see is what you get, a field type, block extension. Here's the view I want to override. So there's going to be anomaly extension block content. Okay, so now we just gotta make this view. So this should override. Good, so we're overriding that view because in our service provider, our theme service provider, we're telling the system to override this view, which is the default one, with this one. So that's good. Let's remove this other stuff since we don't need it right now. Good. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll take the original content, which is pretty simple, paste it in here. Surround it with a container. There we go. What else does it have around it as far as classing? I think it's probably got like a page content, yep. Let's see. No. Let's try this. Oop, that's wrong. Here we go. Okay. I've got a little bit more containers CF. What's this? Looks like we have a little bit more padding. What's going on here? I'll revisit that. Let's press on. So we've got a banner in. We've adjusted our what you see is what you get block so that it looks congruent with our build files. So now we need a testimonial block. Let's do that real quick. Kids are up to something upstairs. Let's use a we have this generic title issue again. Let's just call it title text. Yeah. And what else do we need for that one? For the testimonial block, background image, which we will default. Let's see. Close this. We have the same testimonial block that we used on the home page. I'm just going to copy the code from that, and we'll incorporate the block from there. Types. Okay, and then these will be optional just like before. There's that. And then this we'll use title text. You know, if I recall, this and the page template one should be I think testimonial title. Let's just double check that real quick. I might have forgotten that on a previous step. Yep. Okay, so we've got our block here. Let's give that a shot. Save for now. We'll add the other fields. This is optional, so it's not required. Same for the background image. Okay. Let's see if that worked. There we go. Ooh, it's slightly different. Oh, no, it's not. So we just need I think this is going to need to be required. Or I think I'm going to leave the text as a default. We'll change the default value in the markup. That way they don't have to make one, but they can if they want to. Good. I'm done with that. So I'm going to say the 404 template is done. Let's see what this about page is all about. Okay, so we've got our alternate banner here. And I think this is all considered probably this banner. I think that's all probably one. What is all this malarkey? Full page image. An accordion. Testimonial again with a different background. All right, let's get to work on the this alternate banner. New type. And this is going to be a component. Let's see. Tag that image. The title default to the page title. Call that the subtitle, and we'll call this the description. Or intro. Yeah, I don't want to give them a WYSIWYG there. I think that's bad news bears. So let's see, we'll need a subtitle and an intro field. We'll need this. Optional. Maybe the subtitle would be required. As well the intro. Alright. Let's create a new page for this one. About. New template, new page. Alternate banner. see what this looks like. There we go. Let's back off the override here and just let the page title take place. Good. Alright, what's next? Call this a, let's call it a simple image. We'll need just a regular file field type called image. JPEG only. Oops. This one's going in media. See if there's anything special about this. We might want to treat this as one block. Let's call this an about block. They might want to use it for other services and stuff too. And let's use this whole thing. All right. So this is going to be the image. We don't need to do the alt because it's coming from the CMS now. All right. Here's a video. Another video. This will be an accordion. Let's pull in the Accordion add-on real quick. Oh. I'll have to check that out. That's what I get for using the beta. We'll see if that completes. Not sure. All right. So this is more of a structured block. We'll be able to use it to describe various things. I mean, this could easily be like a service overview for a particular service that they offer. So this is going to be kind of a chunky one. Let's get into it. We also need a video. I wonder why this isn't working. Well, when in doubt, we can still do this. And then the other one that we wanted was the accordion. So we'll have a video field type tracking that one, and we can pull a cover from the YouTube video in that case too through the field type. And then we'll use the accordion block for these, and we'll just override the view so that it's styled and marked up the way that we expect. Might override the wrapper as well so that we can use that block title for this in case they want this to be bound to that block. So while that updates, let's see, what will we call this component? We've got an image, we've got video. Let's use title and intro. And what we can do is use these fields and label them, override the assignment labels, or the labels when we assign them to the particular block types, and make them a little bit more specific and give them a little bit more context per block. We're going to end up doing a link text and a link URL as well. And let's see, image. We'll need an image for this as well. So we'll call this intro image. I don't really like that. We've got our main image here. Let's add a let's add an image, about image or something disposable. We'll want to retain this kind of sizing, 443 by 135. By 135. Okay. Let's create some of these fields here. About image. restrict this to JPEGs only. Let's see if the video has come in yet. Yep. So let's add a video. Let's see. Let's see. We'll do the same thing here. Video embed. Okay, let's make sure that these things are assigned to it. We need the image. The title text, if I recall. And an intro. This is for that one box. Link text, which we don't have yet. Let's create those real quick. And the link URL. Now assign them over here. And we also need primary image at the top. Let's keep this optional. They might not want to use this on every instance of this block. So I'll have to make that conditional in the markup as well. And then the video. Alright, let's move that up to the top as well. Reload our page here. Let's see, the smaller, let's use the banner image as an example. Test link, test title, so that's all working right. The video, however, is jacked up. Oops, don't need that. So first thing, that main image is going to be optional. Oops. Alright, now this. So let's find out what we on the image field type, let's find out what we get for the cover coming back. Okay, you know what? This is actually the wrong field type. I want the video field type, and I don't have docs on it right now, so let's take a look at the repository. In particular, I want to see what's up with the presenter. Cover image, matcher, the cover, so it's coming from the matcher. So it returns an image instance. Cool. So let's do this. Let's see, video, cover. No, we'll just leave it like that. Cool, there's a cover. The embed is working correctly. It's a little jacked up with sizing is all. So let's force that full width. There we go. Okay. To our office. We need 2 links and link titles and link URLs. I'm not super happy about the naming convention so far in this one. Not gonna lie. But it is what it is. We can go back and rename labels as needed. So I'm gonna make a link text 2 and link URL 2. And so what you can see here, when we assign these, I'm going to put them under the video because they're related to the video. And I'm going to label them differently. Video link text. That just triggers the so we'll be good with just the video link text. Wow, the kids are going absolutely batshit crazy upstairs. Then we need to put that in the markup as well. Here we go. Okay. This image needs to be cropped. We've got a character here. I'm gonna call that one done. This image obviously would be they can pick that out themselves. I might have to end up putting an image cropper up there too so that they can size it, but for now I'm calling that one done. Then we've got a generic what you see is what you get underneath there. And then we've got the accordion. Just downloaded, let's install. Then we're going to need to end up overriding that as well. Let's go ahead and add one, see what it looks like by default. I'm going to use this title. Oops. Add another section. And this will end up being just a generic bootstrap flavor. So we'll put that into a container as well, and then tweak things just a little bit. So let's override that view. Here's the content. So we'll copy it as is for now. Let's see, we're going to wrap it in a container. And we also actually need to wrap the entire wrapper in a container. So let's leave that as is. Oops, what's this? I need the wrapper here as well. The type wrapper. Alright, so this is our wrapper, and I'm overwriting it here, which is kind of like adding it because I don't think it has its own wrapper. Div.container. There we go. Let's get this markup exact. So this will be in the content itself. For the accordion. Let's see. Section title goes here. Doesn't seem right, but we'll check this out. Yeah, that's screwed up. Let's see. FAQ block container gray. I bet we need that. I screwed that up. All right. Yeah. Getting closer. So the wrapper override is not working because we don't have a wrapper. So I wonder if this will work. Nope. Well, okay, so what we're going to have to do here is override the, we had this override for the wrapper, however the accordion block doesn't use a wrapper, so there's nothing to override. I had accidentally changed the wrapper in the blocks module itself, that's why I was seeing that earlier. So what we're going to do is basically override the add-on itself. So public function, we're going to use boot so that we know that everything's registered already. And let's just do it this way to keep it a little bit safe. That way as I push this and stuff, we won't run into exception errors during, if I'm trying to inject the block here, I'm just going to do it here. Accordion block extension. We'll just resolve this class out of the IOC. It's an add-on. So this particular instance should be a singleton, I think. Let's just give it a shot. Set. Let's see. Let's hint this. It's a block extension. Set wrapper. Oh my goodness. Let's see what this does. Okay, there we go. So that block didn't have a wrapper, so we set the wrapper at during load, or boot time or whatever. We set the wrapper on the extension itself because by default, if we look at the generic block extension here, the view is a default content, which this always gets overridden on the blocks, otherwise there's nothing special to see. And then this is the default for the wrapper. So we basically used set wrapper down wherever here and changed it for the accordion block itself. So there we go. Now we need to hide that data. We need to hide the content. And I'm guessing what they did was put the JavaScript right underneath of it. I'll just bet. Yep, here it is. Let's see if I have that script or not. Nope, sure don't. So let's open up the about.html and take this fact script, wherever it is. Here it is. And we'll put that in our global script. Our assets here. We'll put that here. Let's check that out. Boom. Okay, well, stumbled around a little bit, but there might be some room for improvement there as far as overwriting wrappers where they're not used. Probably gonna have to clean this video up, so I'm gonna call it quits here, and we'll pick up on the remainder of these blocks in the next video. See you then.